Boomers never liked to be told how to behave. We didn't follow society's rules in the 60s, and we're not following the stereotypes now in our 60s. I want to talk to you today about adventurous travel and why I think it's so important for women over 50 to have an open mind and adventurous spirit when they travel. My name is Margaret Manning with 60andMe, and I want to thank you so much for being here. Now, our sponsor for today's show is International Living. Now, International Living is a company that helps people decide whether they want to retire overseas. They've got people in all the countries around the world that you might expect, and they produce wonderful resources and reports that you can download from their website, internationalliving.com/60andme. It's a great resource if you're thinking about retiring abroad. Now, adventurous travel, what does that mean? Now, you may think that when you hear the word adventure, you think, climbing Mount Everest or Kilimanjaro or doing zip lining in the Costa Rican jungle, but that isn't really what I mean by adventurous travel. What I mean is where adventurous travel, where we have an open mind to live in a place or visit a place as a local, to let your boundaries down, to get outside your comfort zone a little bit and try to become part of the experience of the travel. We want luxury and comfort, of course. I mean, as we get a little older, maybe we say we deserve it. We've lived, we've stayed in hostels. We've done that bit of adventurous travel when we were younger, and we want some comfort and luxury. But that's okay. You can have comfort and luxury and also an adventurous, spirit and state of mind. Now, I've traveled through deserts. I've traveled on camels across deserts. I've hiked in the back hills of Myanmar, and I've met some incredible people on those journeys. I got stuck in a small boat on a Greek island as a big storm approached, and we had to escape on this tiny little dinghy. But the thing is, this all happens in ways that creates emotion and memory. Our memories, you think back on your travel memories, and they're always, the powerful ones are always associated, in my opinion, with an adventure, with something that happened that wasn't expected, something that you started off the day thinking, oh, this is going to be a straightforward journey, and then it turned into something amazing. Those are the things you remember. That Greek ship I told you about, I was with my children, and honestly, to this day, that is all they remember about any of our Greek trips that we took, and we love going there. They just remember that day we had to go on the boat, and it was going, up and down, and they were a little frightened, and that was it. It was a memory. So I think that having creating situations where you have those kinds of unexpected serendipitous moments is really cool. And in a way, adventurous travel is a state of mind. It's a state of mind that you go into a new place with, and you try some things that, that put you in a local frame of mind. For example, learning a little bit of the language. That actually opens so many doors, because once you say a few words in their language, everyone starts chatting with you, and then you have to start explaining, speak slowly, or let's have a chat, have a coffee. And they just are so appreciative that you are trying. And that gives you not an adventurous sense of like going down a zip line, but it gives you that sense of like connecting, connecting with someone in a really positive way. So try to learn a language. Choose local cafes and restaurants over the ones where every one of the tourists are going. Now, you might be traveling solo, you might be traveling with a group, and either of those scenarios, you can break away and do your own thing. That's even with a cruise. You can go with the shore excursions and then do some of your own exploring. But go to the cafes and restaurants where they're packed with local people. That's where the good food is, and where the fun is, and where the funny people are, and the adventurous things that might happen. Hire a local guide if you want to. I remember when I went to Copenhagen, I wanted to go to Christiania, which is a community in Copenhagen that's a little bit scary. It's well, in the sense that it's not my home, and it's been taken over by a group of people with very radical ideas. But the place is so fascinating. So I hired a guide from a company called Viable. Viable, viable.com. And there's lots of them now. At the time, that was one of the few. And this local guy, I forget his name now, but he was just great. He was like 6'5", and he was great. He came and took me to Christiania, and we went around, and it was amazing. I mean, honestly, to this day, I can remember the scent and the flowers and the houses, how people were living their lives in that place. Incredible. So that's another thing. Another one I want to share with you is in Bali. I went to Bali by myself twice, and well, needless to say, I fell in love with it. And it was, at first though, the first place I stayed was called Bali Eco Stay. And it was this hut in the middle of the jungle. Well, it was a hut. It was a beautiful waterfall bungalow, and it had no windows. There was just a blind that separated you from the jungle. And there was a sign, I'll never forget this. There was a sign that said, please turn out all the lights in the evening so that you won't attract mosquitoes and the animals that hunt mosquitoes. Something was lost in the translation, because when it was word animals, it was probably like little spiders and bugs that eat the mosquitoes. But it was like, to me, oh my gosh. And there I closed the blinds at night as the sun went down, and it was really, really dark, and I was terrified. But look at me, I'm talking about it today. Like it took me somewhere, you know, it took me into some part of myself that I had to deal with a fear, with Mother Nature. And there was nothing that was going to harm me. It was little butterflies and moths that get the mosquitoes, no monkeys leaping through the windows. But that's the story. That's the storytelling of travel when you go deep and go local. So I think the most important thing is adventure travel, adventure spirit, state of mind helps you to break the stereotypes. You know, we also always talk about women in their 60s not doing, you know, not being considered kind of passive, and the travel agencies love us because they like to put us in little, you know, groups and calm, you know, cruises and places where they think we want to relax and, you know, not get into any mischief or into any challenges. There's lots of travel options for that type of a traveler. But if you're just looking to, in a way, challenge the stereotypes by saying to people, look, I'm 60 years old, or I'm 55 or whatever, and I'm out here and I'm traveling, I'm experimenting, I'm having fun. They see you as an older woman, and it's suddenly, wow, that is okay. That woman is, you know, having fun in her 60s and 70s. And it's a way of challenging those aging stereotypes. So let's make a commitment. Let's do it. If you're a boomer and you don't want to follow the rules, you want to break some of those stereotypes, this is a way to do it with adventurous travel mindset. If you're up for doing some of those more physically adventurous things, you know, that's great too. Go for it. But if you've got some limitations with mobility or whatever in your own confidence level, just go ahead and do the things that are more experimental in mindset and in the small things. So don't have to be extreme, but just, you know, just have a go. So have you done any adventurous travel? What was the most adventurous trip or tour that you took? Leave your comments in the section below. Let's have a chat and just share with each other. What was the most adventurous travel that you've ever done? And as I said, it doesn't have to be on, you know, Mount Everest. It can be something just small but meaningful that you did that has a memory stuck in your mind. Okay, so thanks for being here, everybody. Please check out our other articles on 60andme.com and also here on YouTube, because there's so many written about travel of all kinds for seniors, and we'd love you to join in that conversation. Have a wonderful day, everybody. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye for now.